Once again, really proud of our football team. These guys came in after the Washington game, put a lot into it this week in terms of preparation and film study, and played hard tonight. Dealt with a few things offensively. It was kind of down to one grouping there at the whole second half. So I thought Josh and offensive staff did a great job of managing the game, and it's kind of an odd game. Anytime you get 3 scores in the game that are non-offensive touchdowns, it's kind of a season's worth, and all happened in one game. So a couple big plays for us on the block punt, on the fumble, scoop and score by Kyle. Those are great plays, and we took advantage of those opportunities. Had some turnovers, though we played the ball well and got our hands on some balls, so that was good too. But offensively, those guys showed a lot of toughness out there today, and just battled through the situation that we ended up being in. So once again, it's a really good job by those guys and by the offensive coaches.
Bill, this was the third week in a row we've seen Brandon Bolden score a touchdown. What have you seen from him that's allowed him to play a bigger role in the offense than we're used to seeing from him?
Yeah, Brandon's a talented guy. He can play on all 4 downs and play well. So we're very fortunate to have him. He gives us great depth, and he's just another good football player to put on the field.
Bill, earlier this week you talked about how the defense really runs 20 players deep. Was that depth really put to the test tonight? I think you had 4 or 5 injury announcements. And how hard of a challenge is it to coordinate the defense with so many players coming in and out of the game?
We dealt with some things offensively that limited our personnel groups. Defensively, there were some guys in and out as well. Again, our depth helped us in that situation. The coaches did a good job, and the players did an excellent job of managing those groups with different people subbing in for them. So, but that's football. So things like that happen. You just have to be able to adjust to it. But our players do a great job of just working with whoever's in there and making sure we get the communication, the assignments right. Sometimes it's a little tricky, like who are you? Are you this guy, that guy, or that guy? But they do a good job of sorting it out so that there's no confusion. And I don't really think we had any assignment problems out there today. I'm sure we'll look at the film, technique-wise, and there's some things we could do better. But I don't think we had any assignment problems. So that was, that's a good thing, especially against an offense like the Giants. It gives you a lot of different looks.
Coach, talk about Gilmore's play today. I think he had 5 of the 9 pass defenses on the evening.
Yeah, Steph, he does it every day in practice and does it on Sundays. He did a great job playing the ball and had some good breaks. And the last play down the sideline was a really good finish where the receiver had the ball and he got it on the way down. But he had some great pass breakups. And, look, he's a very talented player, and he worked extremely hard to prepare for the game, study his opponents, and study the passing game that our opponents are going to run. This is a good example here on a short week of how diligent he works, and it paid off. So he's done a great job for us.
Bill, how would you describe the wind and the factor it played in the game? And second part would be just on the opening drive, the 4th and 1. Any thoughts on challenging the spot there, or just maybe not a good look at it, or what was the thought, if there was any thought on challenging?
Yeah, no. Looked like it was all right. Yeah, the wind was it was a factor. I'd say we played in worse, but it was definitely a factor in the game. It really, I don't know how much it favored either direction. Maybe a little bit towards the closed end, but mostly it was towards our bench. So kind of the opposite of the Jets game. So it's really more of a side wind than it was a wind that really helped, because we touched back both ways, and they hit the ball well both ways too. So I don't think that was. It was really just push the ball over towards our sideline in the kicking game. Passing game, I don't think it had a big effect on the passing game. Maybe on a couple of long balls, but I think anything intermediate and short, not that big of a factor. It certainly could have been a lot worse.
Any questions?
Bill, today you had a game. I think you went over 30 carries. What is it a factor of the game plan where you're trying to run the ball consistently, even though you aren't having that many dynamic plays? Is it a factor of you guys building the run and being able to establish that? Does that help you guys in the game plan and set up play action passes against a team like the Giants?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, not every play is going to be a 20-yard gain. Sometimes you run runs and you don't gain anything, but when you look at the play, you feel like you're close. And if we could have just done this a little better, or done that a little better, we would have had a solid play. So, I think as long as you feel like that, you're willing to stick with it. Like I said, every play doesn't have to go for 10 or 15 yards. You can feel good about the running game. Sometimes even if you don't have a lot of production on it, if you feel like you just gotta do a couple things, do one thing maybe a little bit better on that play, or you maybe ran it and got a bad look, and the next time if you get the right look or a better look, what you're anticipating, it might be better. So it's each one of those is a little bit different, but that's part of it as well. So look, in the end though, you have to produce. So if you're not getting production out of it, you can't keep doing something forever that's not working. But again, sometimes it doesn't work, but you're still encouraged, or there's enough reason to continue to do it. I think that was the case tonight. There was times where we felt like we should have gained more than what we did. We talked about it, got it worked out, and later on we had some better plays with some of the same plays we ran earlier.
Bill, you take so much pride in all three phases of the game. How much can a play like the one you had on special teams spark your team?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, again, any of those defensive or special teams touchdowns are really kind of bonus points. I don't really think about getting those when you go into the game, and so to be able to get 14 of them was huge. That was a big spark, But again, give the Giants credit. They battled back, and they hit us on a big play, and then they got a scoop and score and got back into the game as well. So we got to avoid giving those kind of big plays up to offset the ones that we make. But in the end, we did, and made enough plays in the second half to to come out on top. Okay, great. All right, have a good weekend. Thank you.
Brady back. How you guys doing? Good.
Tonight's win.
How do I describe it? Happy we won. Happy to get to 6-0. So yeah, we just grinded it out pretty good. Got kind of forced into one grouping there in the second half. I don't think that's ever happened in 20 years. But defense played great. Special teams played great. Outside of a few plays, that would have been pretty good. So we're hanging in there.
Just to follow up, can you describe what happened, I guess, on the interception?
It's a bad decision. Trying to squeeze it in there and yeah.
Tom, you already have a 1,000 yards career on the resume. Are you gonna add a goal line back to that with the 2 scores tonight?
I know. Well, I had to, we were low and on some bodies and had some opportunity there, so try to just get it in. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Tom. When you are forced into one grouping, what is your mindset? I mean, we saw you hit some of your rookies, Jacoby Myers and Gunner, but what is your mindset when you're left like that?
I thought, guys just kind of, refocused, and it's a short week anyway, so there was kind of a lot of, we didn't have real practices, but a lot of walkthroughs, and then, you just got to make adjustments. So guys kind of just filled in, and, we knew we weren't going to have Phillip tonight, after whatever, yesterday or 2 days ago, and then he ended up, then Josh got hurt, so yeah, just dealing with kind of what everyone else deals with this time of year, a lot of injuries and attrition and so forth.
Might it bode well or build some confidence for those younger players down the road, having to come through like they delivered today?
I hope so. Yeah, for sure. Anytime you get in there and play, and they made some really good plays. So happy that what they did. That was great contributions, and real happy for those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask a kind of a continuation of that. For those young guys, you've talked in the past how difficult it is for the first-year wide receivers to learn this playbook. So how they're coming along in a short week to be able to step up and going to making his first ever NFL catch tonight and 34 yards out of it. How from a day-to-day basis do you see those guys coming along?
Yeah, they're working hard at it, and I appreciate all their efforts. And when you're a young player. I always said when I was young, I just was trying to be on time and not forget my playbook anywhere. These guys are kind of, in a different role than that. They're playing in games and contributing. So, again, I'm happy for those guys coming there and help us win a game. So that's what we needed. Anyone who's on the active roster has to be ready to go. And so it's just good for those guys to catch some balls and gain some confidence. So last one.
Ones. Did the wind affect you much? Did the wind affect you much tonight?
Quick ones, short answers.
This is a half question. Did the wind affect you much tonight?
2 halves as a whole. I'm good with that.
Was the wind affecting passes much tonight, you think?
I didn't. Not for me. No. I mean, yeah, a couple, I think, but there's a few directions where it affected more than others. So, yes.
And just what's your assessment of where you guys are as an offense right now? Do you think it's been good enough?
We'll see. We're 6-0, so try to get to 7-0. So thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Questions for Kevin? Steve Burton?
Another game, another interceptions for your defensive back group. I mean, every week, do you guys expect to do this?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about turning the ball over, and I think, like I keep saying, it's a whole defensive effort. It's pressure, it's disguise, it's guys, when the ball is thrown to them, catching it. And I think that's something we know we have to do as a defense. It makes us a better team. And tonight we did a good job taking advantage of opportunities that came up.
So, right here. So, Golden Tate walked in for a touchdown for the first half. Did that give you extra motivation for the second half to shut door to them?
No, I mean, we gave up a play, but I think the good thing about having experience on our defensive unit is we know if we give up a play, it's one play. Let's focus on what's coming next, and I think that's what we did a good job of. They made one big play and just making sure we didn't give up any other big plays and locking back in on what we need to do.
What challenges arose on defense tonight? I think you had JC, you had Patrick, you had Dante all go down on the defensive side of the ball, staying coordinated and communicating, especially with the short week this week.
I think that's where our depth showed up. When you get short weeks like this, it's a lot of walkthroughs, it's a lot of meeting time, and especially with this game, we wasn't 100% sure of what they would do because all year they had a lot of guys missing that were a big part of their offense. So I think that's the good thing about our team. How it goes down. Jamie took over the huddle. Bentley comes in. Like all those guys have played a lot of football for us. So we don't really miss a beat. But it's tough. We got guys in there that have played a lot of football for us. But each guy knows when something happens, you got to step up and be ready to go.
Devin, the fumble recovery by Kyle on that play looked like the Giants lineman had an opportunity to recover, and you punched the ball out. Can you describe the play itself, but also the concept that this defense seems to employ, getting a lot of people to the ball so that when the ball comes out, you guys are not only able to recover, but make plays with it?
Yeah, I mean, that's a part of turnovers. It's not always, a great interception or, it's guys flying around and, they throw a screen. Me and Jamie get to the guy first. Jamie forces the fumble. I try to get on the ball. We all dive for it, punch the ball forward. There's like 4 guys on our defense running to the ball. KV gets a scoop and score. And I think you saw that all night, starting off with Steph making a good defensive play, pops the ball in the air. John comes down with the interception, but you look at that picture, there's like 3 guys all running full speed to where the throw is being made. And that's something we talk about in practice. The D linemen do a great job, whenever a ball's thrown, turning, running to the ball, trying to make plays from behind. So we got to continue to do that, and I think that allows us to play aggressive. You miss a tackle, somebody else is coming. We just got to keep doing those things.
Devin, you've been here a long time. You've heard bend but don't break Patriots defense. Heard that a lot. Obviously, last year you guys came on strong. This is different, what we're seeing. It's only 6 games. You haven't won anything yet, but we're talking 3 turnovers a game, touchdowns off of turnovers. Can you talk about how much fun this defense is, playing on this defense and making plays?
Oh, it's been awesome, but I think a lot is always made of, we never say bend and don't break. Like, we don't say that here. Like, the same philosophies, the same things we talked about is the same things we've said this year, and I think we've just been doing a good job. We have a good unit. We have a lot of guys back, like you said, from the unit that came on strong last year. You get to return all of those guys, especially us in the secondary. But, I mean, across the board, we lost a few guys, but overall, even the new guys that have come have been experienced players, have been able to pick up the system. So I think we were able to be a little bit more advanced in the springtime to really get going on stuff we wanted to run. And then I think it's just personality. Everybody's buying in. Everybody's ready to do whatever they can to help the defense. And that's playing a bunch of different roles for a lot of different guys. And we just got to keep doing that. We can't get tired of working hard and trying to out-prepare people.
Devin, you see it obviously up close in practice every single day. You see it up close in games. What makes Stephon Gilmore so good to be so physical but not cross the line and commit penalties? I mean, it looked like he was as dominant physically as anybody on the field tonight in the secondary.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say he just works on his craft. Like, if you follow him on Instagram, you'll see he's working on his craft in the offseason with Dre Bly. He does a ton of stuff, practice field. He's always out there repping one-on-ones. Like, he's doing all of that stuff to prepare himself. And I think he has a great understanding of route recognition, what guys are running, where their splits are. So it's been awesome just to watch him, especially a guy that comes into the system and learns the system. And, from year to year, game to game, he's just gotten better and better. and he's a big help to our defense. We do a lot of stuff around him and his abilities, and I think what's made us really good in the secondary is understanding everybody's abilities, what they do well, how we need to play off each other, and I think that's allowed us to make some more plays, even from last year going forward. Like, we've just really understood where guys are going to be and what they do well.
This week talked about how difficult it is to kind of get your bodies prepped on that short week. Getting a victory tonight and having that extra rest, what is that like as a player, just to enjoy those extra couple of days?
Yeah, man, like Slay said, as hard as it is to get your body ready to go Thursday, is how big of a blessing it is after the game to be able to rest. You know, you get 6 weeks in, and, you know, we've been just going at it nonstop. You guys see us full pads whenever we can and working hard. So this will be a good break just to try to get healthy, stay really locked in. And I think guys do a good job on this team of taking advantage of getting treatment, doing different things to really try to get your body ready for the next, you know, couple games that we had before the bye week. If you can just put it all in, then get a little rest and then go from there. That's something we've talked about throughout the years of sometimes getting these breaks and them timing up really well if we do a good job of taking advantage of it. Appreciate it.
Yes, I think James White is coming to the podium. Clear the game, who announced quarterback? Tom Brady. I did. Yeah, 31 for 41, 334 yards. One INT, 2 touchdowns on the ground. And believe it or not, 300 yards for the 91st time in his career Tom Brady played. Picks moved to 6-0. The way you know I'm the biggest quarterback, James White, hopefully he'll come to the podium as well. Next time we're going to throw it upstairs to the CBS 40 Club and check in on our old friends, Christian Poirier and Danny Rose. Guys? I know, I said the same thing. I said, I didn't know he was player of the game. I would have given it to the combination of Jacoby Myers and Trust.
Right.